everyone, it's Justine, and I'm super excited to be kicking off the 12 Days of Christmas series today. This is day 1, 2015, and this is my second year of doing it. Big thank you to Lawnfawn, who's sponsoring this giveaway today, and I'm going to be giving away the stamp set that I'm using towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. To get started, I'm taking a piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock. This is a 110-pound cardstock. I cut it 11 by 4 1/4 inches, and you can see that I scored it in the middle at 5.5 inches using my paper trimmer. I am going to put that off to the side for now because I don't need the card base until much later on, and first we're going to get started on the die cutting. So to get started, I'm going to be using the bouquet paper from Lawnfawn, and I'm going to be cutting it using a Simon Says Stamp stitched rectangle, and I'm going to be cutting a piece of white cardstock as well with the smaller version of the stitched rectangle from Simon Says Stamp. So I'm not using the very largest rectangle available in that die, but the second and the third largest in that set. So I'm just going to run these through my Cuttlebug so I can get a nice stitched border on my paper. Alright, so now I'm just throwing through the patterned paper here, and this is going to be slightly larger than the white piece that I just cut out because I'm going to layer them one on top of the other. I'm going to throw that through my die cutting machine as well, and then I'm going to put my Cuttlebug off to the side. That's not it for die cutting at the moment, but at the time when I was making this card it was. So just set that off to the side for now. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of Simon Says Stamp masking paper, and just with my scissors I'm going to make a snowbank. So I'm just curving my scissors in a curved line here. The key to doing it quickly and straight is to do it all kind of in one cut, so actually larger size scissors would be much better to use at that point. Then I'm just going to take that and add it to my card panel. So masking paper is a paper that is almost like a post-it note, so it's sticky on one side, but it's sticky on the entire side and not just a little strip of it. So I'm just going to take a piece of take that snow bank that I had cut out, and I'm going to put it towards the middle of my card. And then I'm going to pick that up and put it on my MISTI. This is a stamping tool to stamp your stamps. You don't need this to make the video. I'm just using it because my stamp press unfortunately cracked in half, and so I can't use my usual block that I usually use. So I'm using my MISTI. So I'm placing the two snowmen here from the Ready Set Snow set from Lawnfawn, and this is the set here that we're going to be actually giving away today on the video. So going to be placing those so that they're slightly on top of the snowbank so that when I pull it off it's going to look like they're behind the snow. And I'm just going to put my MISTI down, pick up my stamps, just adjust my panel here, and I'm going to use my archival black ink and I'm going to be stamping it. Now I kind of had to compromise here because I was planning on using a little bit of watercolor and I was planning on using Copic markers. As far as I know, there isn't an ink available that's going to be happy for both. So I decided it's much easier to control my Copic coloring than it is to control my watercoloring as far as smearing goes. So I had stamped it in archival, which works well with watercolors. So I'm just going to stamp the Merry Christmas also from that stamp set. This is actually supposed to go onto like the bottom of a snow globe as a title, but I'm not using the snow globe in this video. And I thought the title would look cute in this little banner anyway as is. So I'm just going to go in and do a little bit of Copic coloring at the moment. I'm going to add some N0 just to put some shading on the side of the snowman here where the light wouldn't touch him. And then I'm just going in, I'm just doing basic coloring here, no shading, no blending, nothing. I'm just going in with BG02, BG15, and YR09 to do the hat and the carrots. Noses, I wanted to keep the hats and scarves the same color as the pattern paper we're going to use because I didn't want that to be such a huge distraction. So I'm just going to slowly peel off my masking paper here, and you're going to see that there is a snowbank line, I guess you could say, on the bottom of the snowman. Now, I decided I was going to create a snowbank out of glitter. In the end, I ended up covering up most of it with the sentiment, so this is totally an optional step, but I'll show it to you anyway. We're going to start off by taking a piece of masking paper, and that's the opposite piece of the piece that I cut out, so the top part of it. And I'm just using that as a mask. And I'm using my Versamark ink to tap down with a free hand. And I'm adding some ink underneath to the snowbank. And it's going to be about 1/2 centimeter or 1/4 inch or so large. And then I'm going to take some sticky embossing powder from Ranger. And this is really good because when you heat it up, you can then add your glitter and it'll stay on there. So it's almost like a glue. So when I heat it up with my heat gun, it's going to melt, and then I'm just going to add my glitter. Now I'm just going to go through this quickly here because in the end I don't feel like it added a ton to the card. So I just added the sticky powder and then the glitter, and then I made a snowbank as well as some snowflakes in the sky of the snowman. And in the end, you don't really see it on the actual card itself. Even in person, it's quite hard to see. So I wouldn't recommend taking that extra step just because it was a lot of work. And again, you don't really see it and it takes quite a bit of time. So anyway, after I was all done putting that glitter down, I spread some tumbled glass ink onto my craft mat, and I grabbed some water and a paintbrush, and I just went very, very carefully along the edges of the snowman, and I was able to create a watercolor background in a light blue. Now it's important to water this quite a bit, water it down quite a bit on the craft mat instead of onto your actual paper, because this isn't watercolor paper. So you don't want to do too much or get the paper too saturated because it will ruin your paper and ruin your scene. So I just added a lot more water, and then I just went in and finished off the sky, and I wasn't going for any sort of perfection here. I'm just kind of coloring it in so that you could see the snowmen a little bit better and that they pop up on the card. I thought of just leaving the background white, but again, the snowmen did not pop out at all when I left it like that, so I just added sort of a watercolored background would help quite a bit, especially with that snowbank. You kind of can now see what it is. I'm going to attach the Merry Christmas sentiment on top of the glittered snowbank that I created, and that's what I meant before about how I ended up covering up most of it anyway. And as you can see, you can also not really see the snowflakes that I stamped on the top around this snowman anyway. So I'm going to go in now and take a die from Lawn Fawn, and these are the little snowflakes. And this is a really great die because not only is it super affordable, but you get a lot of different shapes and you can do a lot with it. And you can also use them for shaker cards and use them as the parts that shakes. A lot of the small snowflakes I put off to the side and use them for that on another card. So I'm just adding a piece of paper underneath as a shim because it didn't cut through the entire layer of the snowflakes the first time. So you do need a shim to cut that. And then I'm just going to take out the snowflakes, and you'll be able to see all the snowflakes that come in that die in just a second. Alright, so you can see that you have many different sizes and shapes here, and I'm just going to add them quickly to my card using some Tombow Mono liquid adhesive. I decided to create a border of snowflakes. I like the white on white look and it doesn't take away too much from my scene, but the card did need a little extra something, so I thought that ended up being perfect. So I used the larger snowflakes to do this, and I used 4 of them to go across the actual card, and then I used 2 to kind of bulk it up a little bit. And overall, I really enjoyed making that border, and it was really easy to do, and it added a lot to the card, and you'll see that in the final results. Next up, I just needed to put my card together really at this point. So I have my card base here that I set off to the side at the beginning. I also then used some Tombow Mono liquid adhesive and used the patterned paper here and set that into the middle of what's going to be the card. And then I just needed to add the layer of the snowflakes and the snowmen on top of that. So overall, it was quite a simple card to create, and I really enjoyed creating it. I just attached this final panel here using some 3M foam tape, and this is really great. It's so easy to peel off. You could tear it off with your fingers, no need to use scissors and get them all muckied. My favorite 3D tape ever. I can't believe it's taken me this long to actually try it out. And the last little embellishment I'm putting on here is some foil tape. Now this is from Close to My Heart, and I got it when I was still a consultant, and it's still available, and it's brand new. Actually came out in this catalog that just came out. So you can get it from any of your Close to My Heart independent consultants. So it's not available in an actual store per se for you to purchase, but it's really fantastic. It comes in gold and silver and is perfect for the holidays. So I'm just going to tuck these pieces here behind my card, and I absolutely love that silver trim. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And then I'm just going to add my final panel, and I believe that this card is done, except for the fact that we have to fold it into a card. So I'm just going to take my bone folder, and then I'm just going to fold it the fold line that I created earlier and crease it using the bone folder to make sure that it's a nice creased and professional look. So that's the end of the card today, and thank you so much for watching, everyone. Here's a last look at day one's card, and I just wanted to move on to the giveaway now, so a big thank you once again to Lawn Fawn for giving away this stamp set today. Now there are many ways to win, one is which is to leave a comment on this video itself and give it a thumbs up, and the rest of the ways to win and how you can earn extra entries in today's post is to go on over to my blog, JustineHovey.com, which is also linked to in the description below, and you can click there and there are many ways to win. I'll be announcing all the winners on November 21st all together, so there's going to be 12 prizes given away in total over the next 12 videos, and I'm really looking forward to making 12 happy winners very happy. So all supplies used are linked to below in the video description or on my blog. You can click up at the top to see that. You can click on the card here that is shown to see day 1 of the 12 Days of Christmas 2014, or you can click on the subscribe channel on the right to subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 2.